Happy Friday, newsies! It is I, Becca Laurie Hector, here with your next installment of Neurodiversity Newsstand. This week's Neurodiversity news in a nutshell. And here I am this week. It's been kind of a crazy week for me, and I've had this odd experience, and I was thinking about it all week, and I decided, you know what? I'm going to kind of share that with you guys in an effort to sort of that I've understood it myself a little bit, and I'm trying to figure it out still. So cool. Curious if this happens to anybody else is kind of the scenario. Let me sit up a little straighter because I'm slouching. I'm like a slouch. So yeah, this week was a certain kind of week for me, and I've had this experience before, and I don't quite understand it, and I don't know what to do about it. So I'm going to share it with you, and maybe talking it out will kind of help a little bit. So I had the seasonal depression rather, and just like it does every year, as if I can't remember it, February swoops in and the mood lifts and the sun comes out and all of these things are happening. And so I'm feeling much, much better than I've been feeling. And I've learned the lesson that next year I am definitely going to, what's the word I want to use? I'm definitely going to plan ahead, I guess, and anticipate. That was the word I was thinking. I'm going to anticipate my seasonal depression next year and not schedule myself like a crazy person. I'm going to take it really easy for those months. But in any case, the depression lifted, and I can't tell you how good it feels. It feels so amazing to have some of my energy back and to have some of my creative energy back. And I don't know what else I want to say. It just feels good. I feel better, and I'm excited. So this week, and if you've noticed, like, some of my content is sort of picked up, and I'm doing the newsletter, and I'm doing other things, and I'm sharing stuff with you guys. And I've also been writing that you guys don't know about, kind of on my own, things that we'll get. Oh, cameras. I usually do this stuff all beforehand, but today I just was like, meh, lazy. Okay, so we're paying the price for my laziness. In any case, so yeah, so I was like, this week I was doing things. I mean, like, I've been doing things, so I'm finally producing stuff, and that's exciting for me. But this week I had a bunch of days where I did a whole lot of things, like more things than I did over the months that I was so depressed and everything like that. I mean, like, or I produced or finished or completed tasks that I could, like, tangibly say I did, and things like that. Updated our website, did all kinds of things like that. And I should have felt like accomplished, I guess. Like, yay, I got off my butt. I did some things. Good day, good work, and, like, kind of enjoyed the evening. But what I was noticing is that on the days that I do the most, or that I'm most productive, like, and I'm in that flow, and here's where I think the autism comes in. So I'm, like, in that flow, and then I finish, and I literally, like, there's nothing left on my list. I'm waiting for emails back or whatever, and I'm done, and all my starred emails are accounted for, whatever. And I'm like, I feel like I didn't do anything today. I feel like I didn't do enough. I feel like I could be doing more, etc., etc. And really kind of a little bit beating myself up on the days when I'm being most productive. And oddly, on the days when I'm really doing nothing, I'm not quite as mean to myself about it. So it's interesting. At what point do we sort of say, well, I did enough for today? And usually I know that by my body, my brain, something will tell me I'm tired, and I've had enough. But on the days that I'm being really productive, I want to, I guess, encapsulate and save that energy. I'm so excited to be being productive and being full of ideas that I kind of don't want it to go away. And so I want to keep using that energy maybe. And it just, for some reason, I am left feeling like, even if I did, 7 tasks on my to-do list and it's now empty and I can throw it away and I should be feeling great, I'm feeling like I can do more. I should have done more. I didn't do enough today, whatever the case may be. And I need to find where that negative self-talk is coming from, and why. So I'm on that search, but I'm curious if that happens to you guys ever, or if anybody else has had that experience with just feeling like you didn't do enough, even on a day where you've been at your 150%. So I'm curious to know, because that's what's been kind of ruminating for me this week. I'm in a nice flow. I'm all balanced in my stuff online versus the stuff I'm not doing and all of that. And yet, when I should be celebrating that all of these things are working, I'm falling into old patterns and such. And it's weird. I'm just curious if it happens to anybody else, how much it has to do with the autism and the inertia and kind of when we get into that focused groove and not wanting to transition out. I don't know. I'm going to keep thinking about it, and I would love to hear what you guys have to say about it and if it happens to anybody else. Just curious. In any case, luckily, because I was so busy this week and had so much to do, we had a pretty light news week in terms of nothing really life-changing, nothing fantastic, but a couple of really good stuff that's going on. Some things here and there, but pretty light overall. You didn't miss anything huge if you weren't hanging out online this week. But let's get started, I guess. Let's just do the news on Neurodiversity Newsstand. Gonna start out with the most bummy of bummiest articles. I'm sorry to be such a downer. But it's what's going on and we need to talk about it. And so I'll start with it so then everything else gets better from there. How's that? So this week in Pink News out of the UK, the article was titled, "Teen Boy Dies by Suicide After Relentless Bullying for Being Autistic and Gay." The 16-year-old boy named Cameron Warwick unfortunately committed suicide after years of bullying for both of those reasons, for the fact that he was different for his autism, but then also at about 12 years old, he came out as gay. And so he was constantly being bullied, and we have yet another suicide to account for in our midst. And so I say to you guys, it's still happening. And I know a bunch of us are working on it, and it's still going on, and we're still losing people. So there's a lot more work to be done. Cameron will be thinking about you this week, and we send our love to your family. So that's the bum news of this week. I'm sorry to have to start with it, but at least it's over now. And we'll move on. Moving on. Disability In. On Disability In this week, they had an article about Marriott, the comforts of home. Marriott drives innovation with inclusion and accessibility. So the Marriott company is deciding it's about time, and it is about time, that they start thinking about inclusion and accessibility when they build their hotels and when they do redesigns and updates and all of those things. You can go ahead and read that article in Disability In. It kind of really lists out for you all of the little things that they're doing. So if you're interested in the actual specifics of what Marriott is doing, I would take a look at the article, because it, like all the articles that I talk about when I talk on here, will be in the description for you guys to take a look at. Okay, moving along. And for the look at that. For the ADHD folks out there, Attitude magazine this week came out with an article called "How My ADHD Makes Me a More Dynamic, Resourceful, and Passionate Leader." The author of this article talks about all the components of his ADHD and that there are some that create challenges, but other parts of his ADHD and his ADD, or ADD because he doesn't specify, kind of make him a better leader and can kind of make him a dynamic leader. And so I think it's a really interesting article to take a look at, whether you're ADD or not, and just take a look at how he kind of looks at some of his challenges and differences and sees it as a way of being a better leader. And I think many of us who have had struggles growing up, with differences, tend to be better leaders because we have kind of a really raw experience and a rounded experience of kind of the struggles. And so when we're faced with challenges, we're not quite as intimidated, I think, as other leaders can be. So take a look at that article in Attitude magazine. Of course, the link will be in the description. For Some Science, it just came out this morning, but we're already all over it, and it looks like a really, really interesting piece. It was a really interesting piece, rather, and I want to know more. And so I just got to read it this morning. I haven't really been able to delve into the focus or what the real, details are, but it looks interesting and exciting. So what was it called? Researchers develop new tool to help detect hidden signs of autism in adults. So many of you who have been diagnosed as adults will know that because we have lived a lifetime already with our difference and not knowing what it was, we've definitely developed compensatory strategies that hide some of our differences, that hide some of our autistic traits. Some are easier to hide than others, but we definitely do it. And sometimes we call that masking, right? And that's part of having a coping mechanism. So when then we want to go get a diagnosis, we're a little harder to spot because we don't present that way, and we're so used to these compensatory strategies that we do them. We haven't kind of unpeeled the onion in a long time, and so it's a little bit more difficult for professionals to find us. And so what Dr. Lucy Livingston has done in this article is she created a 31-point checklist specifically for autistic adults to help with diagnosis. And we hear a little bit about how it works within the article. With Eloise Stark talks about her experience with it and getting diagnosed in adulthood. Really, really good piece. I want to look at the 31-piece checklist myself really closely. I haven't had a chance yet, so don't jump on me. But it just came out this morning, and it already looks interesting to me, so I wanted to make sure that you guys took a look at it. Alrighty, moving along. All right, happy news time. I'm so excited. It's happy news time. We had a lot of happy news this week and fun news this week. And I'm going to start with one from flopme.com. It was called 4 Young Greeks with Autism That Nobody Hires Open Their Own Business in Athens. And they did. So they weren't getting hired, and they wanted to have a job, and they know that they have value. So these 4 people got together and they opened a snack business. So they're making like healthy snacks for kids in school, healthy school snacks. They're making granola bar type things and with raisins and nuts and stuff like that, whatever. And they're being allergy conscious and all kinds of stuff. And it's up and it's running in Athens. And congratulations, you guys. How amazing is that, right? When just because you can't find what you're looking for out in the world doesn't mean you can't build it for yourself. And they did. So congratulations. Next up in happy fun news is from newswise.com. And the article says, citizen scientists discover new snail and name it after Greta Thunberg. How cute. Is that the coolest thing ever? So these citizen scientists found a species of snail that had not yet been discovered, and when thinking of a name, they decided to name it after Greta Thunberg. Kind of as a nod to what she's doing to save the planet and the environment and all of the species, herself, and kind of leading it along. And so I thought that was a really lovely nod to Greta. I'm glad to see happy news coming out about her. Saw this morning she's still doing her strikes, you guys. You can't stop an autistic. You just can't. It's amazing. All right. And the last bit of happy news comes to us from Australia and fellow newsies Summer and Cynthia Farrelly and their Chickens to Love program. Summer was the recipient of multiple awards this past week for animal therapies for her chicken-assisted learning program. Summer is a mini advocate, and her mom helps her along the way. And she won't be mini for long. Summer, you're not going to be mini for long. She's blowing us out of the water and getting her stuff done. So take a look at Summer and what she's doing, and of course, follow, check out the Chickens to Love. It was the Chickens to Love page. It is now Summer Farrelly and other projects, and so take a look at that, and I will of course give you guys a link to the article in the description. So yay for happy news, yay for autistics doing happy things and good things and positive stuff. As of this week, we didn't really have too much blog stuff that came out that we all took a jump on, but I do want to give a shout out to Doug Bletcher and the Autism Stories podcast. He's the Autism Personal Coach, and he did a fantastic interview this week with Rebecca Cavendar, who is also a fellow newsie, right? Actually, both of them are. So shout out to you guys for this great interview where Rebecca talks about intuitive writing and what it means and how it works and why it works for her. So check out that great interview. I will link you to that. And then I've got a book for you, pre-order out this week, The Awesome Autistic Go-To Guide, a practical handbook for teens and tweens by Yen Perkis and Tanya Masterman. That one is going to be available from Footprint Books. It'll be out soon, but it is available for pre-order now. So if you think it's something you'd be interested in, take the link that I give you and go ahead and pre-order a copy now. Lastly, events. I only have one to give you this week. It's a neurodiversity conference in New York City out of the CUNY program, and they are doing a 2-day conference on March 12th and March 13th. The 12th will be focused on intellectual disabilities, and the 13th is going to be focused on autism spectrum disorder. their keynotes for this event are going to be Lydia Wayman, who we love, 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 and Ari Newman, who used to be in charge of ASAN. So please, head over there if you're a New York City person and you want to find out more about neurodiversity. I think it's going to be a lovely event. It looks fun. If I was still living in New York, I would go. In any case, well, that's it. 15 minutes. News is done. I'm telling you, it was a light week. Crazy. But good. So what I'm going to do with the last few minutes then is just toot my own horn a little bit. I have been working on some stuff on my own, some articles that are going to be published coming forward, things like that, some interviews, stuff like that. But coming out very, very soon, as in like 5 days, I think. No, more than a little bit more. Coming out in the first week of March is going to be my first monthly musings, my first newsletter. So if you haven't had a chance to sign up for the newsletter, please do. It's going to be a motivational newsletter. Each month will be themed. This first issue is going to be about trying something new because the newsletter is new to me. And so that's what it's about. I'll give you some tips and tricks, some articles to read and get you inspired. But it's a little inspirational motivation coming into your inbox once a month from moi. So if you are interested in receiving such a thing, please head over to my website, which is beccalaurie.com, and sign up for my newsletter. Other than that, of course, here on the YouTube channel, every Tuesday, I am doing a live stream called Becca's Backyard Live, where, when the weather allows, I sit outside and I just kind of share with you where I'm at, some of the things that I've learned. This past week, I shared my diagnosis story. Not sure what I'm going to be doing next week, but I'll be doing live streams. And eventually, what I'd love to be doing is some Q&As, if I could get some more of you in there live. I know I do it kind of at an odd time, and many of you are from different countries, different time zones, and I know you have to catch it afterwards. But if you are somehow and magically in my time zone, or it works for you, I do the live stream on Tuesdays at 2:20 p.m. Mountain Time, because I'm here in Colorado, so it's my time, 2:20 p.m. But then, of course, it gets recorded, so it pops up here on the YouTube channel for you to catch afterwards. And then, of course, every Friday, I'm here with Neurodiversity Newsstand. So, yeah, let me know if you like what I'm doing. Check out my newsletter. If you like what you see here and you're really enjoying what I'm doing, please take the time to give me a thumbs up. This week, I was so excited. Oh, my goodness. I got some really good shares from Zoom and Geek Club Books. Thank you so much to Jody and Sharon of the Neurodiversity Newsstand, because I talked about Zoom magazine last week. And with those shares, I can tell you I finally broke 100 views. You guys, I'm so excited. We're at 103 views for last week. And that's the most that I've ever had. And I had 13 thumbs up. So goodbye, number 9. 13 is the number to beat. And so is 103 for views. So I am excited, you guys. Thank you so much for your support. If you have the time and energy and care to, I'd really appreciate some shares of either Newsstand or Becca's Backyard Live if you like what I'm doing. Thumbs up, thumbs down mean a lot to me as well. And I like hearing your comments. I like hearing kind of what's going on in your life, what you think about what I'm talking about, or whatever. Share with me. Share in the comments of wherever you see this video, or you can, of course, email me at info@beccalaurie.com. Have an amazing weekend, newsies. It is the end of the week. Go celebrate. Go do something fun. Go do lots of somethings fun. Share with me what you're doing. I'll try and share stuff with you. I have no idea what I'm doing with this weekend yet, but it's looking like the weather is pretty good. So you can guarantee I'll probably be outside somewhere. And I'm looking at getting some color back in my face, some sunshine on my skin, some vitamin D moving around. So I'm going to be trying to do that this weekend myself. So enjoy whatever self-care and fun things you do. I will be back next Friday with Neurodiversity Newsstand. And of course, I'll be here on Tuesday at 2:20 p.m. with my live stream. So try and catch me then, or I'll see you on social media. Have a good one, newsies. Talk to you soon.